Welcome to the next episode of Beyond the Tea Room, Mother Murphy's Beyond the Tea Room. And today we have our very special guest. We have Lynn Armour here. Do you want to just introduce yourself?
Thank you very much, Deborah, for inviting me along today. This is it's great to be doing something so different from my usual Friday. I am also known as the author Catherine J. Logie, and thanks to the support that Deborah gave me, being a wonderful copy editor amongst mentor, amongst keeping me calm, my first book got published in June, called The Pink Cafe.
Okay, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. So today we are making Yorkshire Parkin out of my recipe book, and this is so I've done videos making Yorkshire Parkin before, but it's kind of it's a Yorkshire treat that we have a bonfire night, so it's kind of coming up to bonfire night. But it's one of these things that you don't eat the day that you make it. So you make it and then you keep it for a couple of weeks before you eat it. So we're going to make it, but as in Blue Peter style. I have already made one, which we will be able to taste later. But we are going to make it. So the first thing that we need to do is to get our all our sugars and everything melting. So we have golden syrup, we've got black treacle, we've got butter. If you want to make it gluten-free and dairy-free, that's absolutely, it's one of these that just tweaking some of the ingredients and you'd never know that it's gluten-free. So if you use a dairy-free butter, and we're using self-raising flour, just use gluten-free self-raising flour and add a little touch of xanthan gum, and that's the only difference. We're using oats. So the recipe is actually is made with oatmeal, but especially if you're using certified gluten-free oats, the oatmeal is very expensive. So get yourself your oats. Yeah, get yourself your oats so you can see the difference.
Yeah,
you get your oats, put them in your food processor, and you have oatmeal. So my tip that I always say is have some hot water for your spoons to scoop out your sugar. So this is your pan. So we're going to put in our golden syrup first, and by having the spoons hot, it just helps to scoop out the stickiness. Yeah. There we go. Just put your spoon back in. It'll keep it nice and warm.
There we go.
And the next thing
put behind us.
Yep. The next thing we're doing is black treacle. I absolutely love black treacle. I could eat. People think it's a bit strange, but I could eat black treacle out of the tin.
Do you know? I remember as a child them putting it on a pancake, and at Halloween.
Yep.
And you would have to try and get a bite of it, and you would end up with your Halloween makeup. You know, if you're having your face painted. I was a clown one year.
Right.
And the sticky treacle, you know, sticking to you.
That's just butter that I'm putting in. You can use butter. Let's see, my spoon's sticky because my spoon fell in.
Just put the butter in?
Just put the butter in. And we have dark brown sugar. And just pop that in. Very low. Dry ingredients. So I have already blitzed these oats for mine, or for yours. And these are the oats that, just to show you just how quickly you can make oatmeal. So don't be spending a fortune buying, especially if you're wanting gluten-free oatmeal, because they just charge ridiculous prices. So that's it. Oh. That's it. That is oatmeal. And if you'd used your actual, all oats are gluten-free, right, but they're not necessarily suitable for celiacs because they might be made or they might be grown near some other grains with wheat. So I celebrate Halloween when I was growing up. It was bonfire night that we did. So this was always something that you'd have at bonfire night. In the they'd always be in the neighbourhood. There'd be a big bonfire going off, and I don't know who built it, but we spent weeks building it. And then somebody would come along with a tin of petrol, put it on it. Some responsible adult.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no health and safety in those days. And everybody would bring something. Somebody would bring some parkin, somebody would bring some flapjacks or some toffee apples. You put your jacket potatoes in foil, or actually go and put it on the bonfire.
Mm-hmm.
All this health and safety, yeah. And then you'd be eating your jacket potato, which would be burnt, and soot all around your mouth. And it was just lovely. So next thing we've got to do is we want to put our flour.
Mm-hmm.
So this is self-raising flour, and I'll take that off here. And we have a little bit of bicarbonate of soda. Yeah, and you can just use a little spoon just to scrape that out. And if you were making it gluten-free, you would have used gluten-free flour and add in a little quarter of a teaspoon of xanthan gum as well. Okay. And we have a pinch of salt. That's going in.
Do you put a bit of it salt over your shoulder when you're cooking? Do you do that?
No, I'm not. No. And this is ginger. Just love ginger. And the other thing that I like to put in, and the reason I do this is because you want everything, all the dry ingredients mixed together. You don't want clumps of your bicarbonate of soda or your ginger everywhere. Just mix them in. And then we have somewhere, we've got, this is nutmeg. And I like to use a whole nutmeg. And I was using one the other day for the Christmas cake. And nutmeg is one of those that if you buy it as ground nutmeg, it kind of loses its flavour.
Oh,
So that is, have you seen, do you know a whole nutmeg? Yeah. And just, I like nutmeg. So you're looking for, maybe that, and I just smell that as soon as you it's, that's enough. And you can put in as much or as little as you like.
We're using this side.
Just a little one. Watch your fingers.
Oh,
I know. It's a very warm in winter, Christmassy taste, isn't it?
Makes me want to put that in hot chocolate.
Oh.
Why do you do that? I don't know.
I never thought about putting nutmeg in hot chocolate. Oh no, I might have to go and try that. Yeah.
I like to put cinnamon on top of a cappuccino instead of.
And we'll just leave those just to finish melting all the butter. Okay, thank you. And then we're going to put our oatmeal in there. Yep. And you can, it's once you've ground the oats, it's almost like flour. It's really, really nice. So the first time I made Parkin for Mr. M, he described it as gritty gingerbread. Mm. Yeah. But you do like a bit of Parkin, don't you, Jim? Yeah. So yeah, some people put butter on it. I know. I quite like it just by itself, but I'd also have it with hot custard.
Oh, see, I would be cold custard.
Get out of that door now.
You know something?
No cold custard.
I do like hot custard, but I like cold custard for some reason.
No.
On its own.
No. Do I even know you? Do I even know you? Yeah. We're having no cold custard. No.
And I like it on the side of things.
No.
Totally opposite from my husband who likes.
Oh, for goodness sake.
No tin fruit.
No.
Sticky toffee pudding goes with custard.
Sticky toffee pudding. Everything goes with custard. There is nothing that goes without, that doesn't go with custard.
When I was in America a few years ago, we went to this place on the pier, and they did this cold custard smoothie. But it was actually a custard smoothie, and it's just incredible. I don't know what they put in it, but it's cold custard. But it was warm out there. It was really nice. It was out in California. It was really, really nice. I was quite hooked on it by the end of the holiday. Don't know what was in it. It was lovely.
Funny enough, I was talking to somebody the other day, and she was talking about how she just got some donuts, and she'd got custard donuts, and I was like, actually, I quite like custard donuts.
Oh, custard donuts every time. I know.
Just let me. I'll not put the.
Yeah, I wondered why some was on the move.
It was just moving.
Yeah, cold custard smoothie. I must find out the place.
No, but I suppose custard donuts. Yeah. Well, that's just so. Once you've melted that, you just need it just to be not roasting. So we're just kind of just leaving that just for a minute. And the tins that we're using. So this makes either a 8-inch square or a 9-inch round. So you'll be able to choose which. Would you like yours to be round or square?
Square, please.
Square. So Lynn is having an 8-inch square, and all I've done is I've greased the tin, but only so that the parchment paper sticks to the tin.
Right.
Yeah,
okay.
That's just a little tip. So that's ready. And
so grease on the outside of the parchment paper.
Yeah, just grease the tin,
yeah.
and then put the parchment paper on. So the inside of the parchment paper is not greased, because you don't need to. Yeah. The other thing that we've got is we've got some milk, and we've got an egg. Yep. And we are just gonna egg. There we go, and just put your egg into your milk. A little stir, and then what we're going to do. This is the really nice bit for me is pouring. Obviously, we'll just give that a minute. So just while that's just cooling, just a little bit. Come and tell us a little bit about your book.
So, do you want me to start from the beginning? Okay. So yeah. I had always been curious about writing, and I think what really struck for me was I would go to the airport on holiday, and I would see people reaching for a quick book to take on holiday, and I thought I would like to write something that is light enough for holiday, because sometimes when you go on holiday, you don't always want something too heavy. Mm-hmm. Sometimes, you might take a variety of books. And in the beginning, I always wanted to write, a real love story. But as time went on, I met people and different things happened, and I thought, I got given a bit of advice, always write something that you know or that you love. So I had the location with St Andrews. I couldn't think of anywhere else in the world that I would want to write.
So why St Andrews?
It's just a place that I always go to, and it always makes me feel nice and calm and relaxed. And I went there in childhood, and when my husband and I started dating, and we'd go out together, we'd go to St Andrews, and it's just a place you go. And I think when work was stressful or whatever, you go there, and I think my head always just felt clear. Mm-hmm. So for me,
I think Seaside always does that, doesn't it?
And I think seeing the beach, and I think St Andrews, there's lots of wee quirky shops that we grew up with. Sadly, one of them's not there anymore. The one is retired. But I think it was really that. I just loved the idea of St Andrews.
Yeah.
So in 2011, I wrote the first 2 chapters, and then it went back onto the shelf, never to be heard of again. And it wasn't even the Pink Cafe then.
Oh, right.
The title.
Okay.
It was just 2 chapters of a book, and the opening of the book is actually very similar to what my original writing was,
Mm-hmm.
including the character.
Right.
I had two
Right.
characters.
Yeah.
And even her description still remains true to the book.
Mm-hmm.
And then in 2019, we were doing a California road trip. So when going around America, I started to write again. But then I came back home, it went back onto the shelf. And when lockdown happened, I would have thought that was a natural time to start writing.
Mm-hmm.
But I spent more time reading in lockdown than anything else. You know, I stopped reading my Kindle and I started reading real books.
Real books.
Because
there's something about a real book, though.
And I miss going into the bookstores.
Yeah.
And I miss going to St Andrews because obviously we couldn't go.
Mm-hmm.
And fortunately enough, the first time you were allowed out, we got to St Andrews, and obviously we couldn't do the usual thing. We could still go to the beach.
Mm-hmm. We
could still see the places. We could still go for walks. So again, it was at the back of my mind that the book was there. And then it was March 2023. I went to a meeting and I was about to start my motivational coaching business, which is still on hold and is coming soon, working on that. And I met Claire and I met you.
Mm-hmm.
And I met Claire Miller, who was a great author. And Claire said, I think you've built walls around yourself to stop yourself doing that.
Claire came and she made tea loaf.
Yeah.
One of their last episodes. Yeah.
And Claire said, what's stopping you? And you were there and you're a copy editor. And she said, right, next week we'll meet for coffee. Why don't you start writing? And that was the March. The first week in April, we were going away to a cottage on holiday. And basically, I just said to my husband, the time is right. The window is open.
Mm-hmm.
Window of opportunity. And
yeah.
I just started writing.
Yeah.
And within 6 months, I had completed the book, apart from the last few chapters.
Mm-hmm.
And we started editing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And here we
are.
have it. Here we have it. Yeah. Right. We'll just put that just to one side just for a second so we don't get treacle all over it. And if you get your so this is just lovely. Give it a bit of a stir. Just make sure everything is all mixed in. And you just pouring that onto your dry ingredients. And the smell is just...
The smell is off the chart.
Yeah. Yeah, just give that a good scrape out. The best tool of my kitchen is a spatula. Yeah. I'm just going to mix that in.
I'm literally scraping this out.
I know.
And it's not burned and stuck to the bottom like when I
No.
do things.
No. There we go.
And I think your advice about keeping it in a very low heat, you almost don't have to take care of it.
Yep. And then just when that's just about mixed in, just get your milk and egg and add that in.
Oh, it's sticking out.
That's
so I'm just adding milk and egg.
And all you want now is just... And now, see if we had smelly vision. The smell.
Yeah, I can smell the nutmeg that I put in this.
Yeah. And you just know that when you're stirring it, you can tell, you can think, this is just going to be a lovely cake. So you've never had that. When I was telling you, originally we were going to do something chocolate when you came.
Because I love chocolate.
But we were supposed to be having, and we had Colin booked. So if Colin's watching this, and people will know Colin as the poet that came to our tea room, and he wrote a book and he did a poetry workshop with us. And he was going to come on Sunday last week to make Parkin. And Saturday morning, I got a phone call saying, tested positive for COVID. I was like, that's okay. You stay where you are. Don't bother coming. So, but because I'd already done my making the Parkin, I was like, well, let's not let it go to waste, and we'll just change what we're making. So we've got all that mixed in.
I've got treacle in here.
That's okay.
I've got treacle down there as well.
That's okay.
And then we
And
just pop it in.
just pouring it in. So it's a very simple recipe. You just have to time it when you're making it, so that you know when you want it, because you can eat it as soon as it comes out of the oven, but honestly, the difference it makes by leaving it a couple of weeks is just, yeah. There we go.
I love these spatulas that you use. They are so good because
They do.
get
They just
everything.
they get everything out.
They get everything
Yes.
out.
Yeah.
I tend to be a wooden spoon person now. I know why I'm not getting things out.
Yeah.
On the rare occasions that I bake.
Is
that enough then? Yep.
Yep.
That over here.
That's it. That's it.
Oh my goodness, I've made a mess with that.
Don't worry. Don't worry.
Okay.
That's it. So these are now ready to go in the oven. So these are going to go in at 160 or 140 for a fan oven, and just for 30, 40 minutes. And again, you're going to test them with a cake tester or a knife. If it comes out clean, that's ready. And we will come back. We're going to go away. We're going to have some of Mr. M's homemade soup. So we get spoilt now, and we're going to put these in the oven, and then we will join you again when we will be tasting our Parkin, or we will be tasting Parkin. We won't be tasting this one, but we'll be tasting Parkin, and we'll be chatting some more about our books. Okay, so see you in a bit.